7 straight losses. 4 straight losses at Rice Eccles Stadium, the once unstoppable fortress of Utah football, has hemorrhaged 4 consecutive losses. I was there each one of the times this year. I just got home from the game, and I'm not feeling great. It's time to give a rapid reaction about the Utes' performance versus Iowa State, and also an overview of the season. This is your boy, the Wild Ute, and just to tell you now, this is going to be a pretty harsh video. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. It helps with the algorithm, and it helps me with therapy here. Let's talk about this game. The Utes fall to the Iowa State Cyclones 31-28. 31-28. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the stats of this game. Let's take a look at the Utes record. 4-7. 15th in the Big 12 Conference. There are 16 teams in the Big 12 Conference, and the Utah Utes are 15th in the Big 12 Conference. This has been the case for the last few weeks. This is nothing new. Nothing new here. 4-7 record. Just to give some perspective, going back in Utah football history, there has only been 2 times ever that the Utes have lost 7 games in a row, and that was back essentially before I was born, many, many moons ago. Hasn't happened in my lifetime. 7 straight losses. Let's see. Oh, gee. All right, let's just take a look at the regular season. You beat Southern Utah. You beat Baylor. You beat Utah State. You beat number 14 Oklahoma State, who turns out to be a turd this year. But they were 14 at the time, and then you rip off an unbelievable 7 consecutive losses. Arizona State, TCU, Houston, BYU, Colorado, and now to Iowa State. You've got one more game versus UCF, and somehow in some way this game is on Fox. The exposure from the Big 12 is fantastic. Hey, whatever, I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can take right now because that's about all I'm getting right now from Utah football. All right, let's talk about some problems here. Not just the 4-7 record, but the future, the soul of Utah. Utah football is a program that focused its identity on being nasty ball hawks and developing talent. So a lot of times Utah would land a high 3-star kid and maybe a 4-star kid, but make him basically into a blue chip 5-star kid through development and many years inside the program. One of the problems that's emerging its head is in this new NIL portal, the transfer portal era, when so much movement, is dang hard to figure out how to keep that culture going and keep that identity of developing players. And that's bitten Utah, I believe, this year. And it's going to be impactful in future years too, y'all. It really will be impactful. So the future is very uncertain right now for the Utes. Going in next year and the year after, I am optimistic, but it's certainly unpredictable. All right, let's talk about the Big 12 Conference, okay? The Big 12 Conference, after playing in the Big 12 essentially a full season, the Big 12 Conference is akin to the Pac-12 Conference without its top 2 brands. So the Pac-12 Conference had Oregon, USC with the top talent. The Big 12 is basically kind of like the upper half, the middle upper half of the Pac-12. That's what the Big 12 is. You've got a bunch of good teams that can beat you on any given day, but you don't have any great teams. Anyone can win. It's basically just a slugfest and everything, which sucks this year because the Utes have fallen so many dang times. But it's actually good in the future because the Utes could rebound this crap in 1 year and win the Big 12 next year. And you bet in the offseason, you bet your bottom dollar the Utes are going to compete for the Big 12 next year in this NIL portal era 100%. You just wait. You just freaking wait. All right, let's look at some of the box score here because we've got a problem here. We've got a quarterback problem at Utah. Let's go in here. Let's take a look at the Iowa State game. Utah falls to Iowa State 31 28. Iowa State's number 22 in the nation. Now they're 9-2, 6-2. Let me tell you about the game experience. It was actually a pretty dang fun game. There's low expectations for this game. The betting line was 7 points, roughly around 7 points. Utah had a late lead. Their defense gave up a late touchdown. Utah couldn't convert late, and they lost the game on a missed field goal. Hey, I got my money's worth out of the game. It was exciting and everything else, but come on. Losing at home sucks. Losing at home is not acceptable. Losing at home 4 consecutive times is mind-blowing. Mind-freaking-blowing, especially on senior day. Like, let's just be honest about that. Like, football, college football, pro football is a game about results. There's not just, hey, I play pretty good at this position. I'm feeling pretty good. It's about results. It's about wins and losses. And if you lose, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You need to win the game. You play to win the game. And the Utes lost. There's no moral victories here. You're not even going to a freaking bowl game, which is actually fantastic because a lot of the roster needs to freaking turn over next year to compete for a Big 12 championship. Let's take a look at the quarterback play. All right, let's take a look. Okay, Rocco Becht, 20 for 38, 256 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I would say that's pretty dang average performance-wise. Rocco had some good throws. Look, he's a fine quarterback. He's a short quarterback, blocked a bunch of his passes and everything. Like, okay, Rocco Becht, yeah, he's an average Big 12 quarterback. Let's look at Issac Wilson. This is crazy. I cannot believe this crap. Issac Wilson went 8 for 8 for 74 yards in the first half and in the third quarter. And unfortunately, Issac Wilson had what I believe to be a knee injury. I don't know the extent of it. It looked pretty bad. It could be possibly season ending. There's one more game left. Let's be honest. It's going to be season ending this year. But hopefully he returns quickly. I hope it's not too serious. But before he got injured, he had went 8 for 8 for 74 yards. Yo, Utah had 2 first downs in the middle of the third quarter. Utah had 2 first downs in the middle of the third quarter. 3 and out, punt. Short pass, stuffed run, punt. The offense had no oxygen, anemic, unexplosive, uncreative, pathetic, everything you want to say. Issac Wilson, I hope he's healthy. Luke Bottari, the 5th string quarterback on the squad after Cam Rising, after Brandon Rose, after Sam Heward, after Issac Wilson, Luke Bottari's walk-on that just recently got a scholarship, played 1 game in his freaking life at this level, and he almost came back and won. He had 3 possessions, and he scored 2 touchdowns at the end of the third quarter and going into the fourth quarter. What the freaking heck is going on? Why can this guy all of a sudden score points? I don't get it. It makes no sense. I'm proud of the guys. Seriously, like Luke Bottari, I love the kid. He's got grit. He's got balls, and he played his heart out to win this football game. The defense played their heart out to win this football game. And, so I'm not too upset about the performance at the end of the day. It's still a loss. The results are all that matters. We all know that. We had gone over that. Wilson, 8 for 8 for 74 yards. The Issac Wilson problem is real. Do you develop Wilson and continue developing going into next year? Does he hit the portal? Do you care if he hits the portal? Does he have an injury that's going to linger into next year? Should he medical redshirt yesterday? There's so many questions right now with Issac Wilson. The kid has talent, flashes of talent, but he makes a lot of plays that are extremely tough to watch. Like he fumbled a snap and lost the ball, and Iowa State ended up scoring a touchdown. Let me tell you something, too, about the Big 12 refs. The Big 12 refs were garbage pile again today, just like in the BYU game. Absolute garbage pile. I swear they're screwing the Utes. I swear it's freaking driving me nuts. Seriously, these Big 12 refs need to get better. So the Issac Wilson problem's real. Is he going to stay at Utah? Is he going to go? Can we commit to him? Can he commit to us? Is he going to play next year based on this injury that nobody knows about? There's a lot of question marks. What's undeniable, though, is that Utah so freaking lootly needs to bring a bunch of transfer players in. They had a pretty dang large senior class this year that's all graduating. This is a very good class that had a lot of wins in the past. They went to a Rose Bowl, the senior class. but the last 2 seasons have stunk. Last year was a tough season, and all of this season was banked on Cam Rising, and he hurt his hand in the Baylor game, was never the same. This season went off the rails with 7 straight losses and 4 losses at home. I cannot believe they lost 4 games at home. Seriously, this is crazy. Cannot believe I'm talking about this again with y'all. What's the future here? What's the future? How do you keep your identity as a talent developing culture in this NIL era when you need to flip your roster anyway? I don't know. That's Kyle Whittingham's problem. Kyle Whittingham sure as heck ain't retiring after this season, after this performance, after losing 7 straight games and maybe losing again next week. He ain't losing all those games in a row and just retiring. He's coaching next year, and these are going to be freaking better next year. They lost so many close games this year. They're going to flip it around next year. They're going to compete again and get that swagger back again because it's gone. So we need to keep the culture. We need to keep some players. There's some good players on this roster that need to stay. Most of the defense, some of the offensive line. But there's going to be a wholesale change at areas like wide receiver, running back. You need quarterbacks in. You need tight ends. You need weaponry. You need to pay for it. You need NIL funds to dump on that. Hit the dump truck and pay for weapons. And get a dang quarterback this year. Get a dual threat quarterback that can run the ball. You don't know if Issac Wilson's going to even be able to play next year based on the injury. And you don't go with Cam Rising. Cam Rising's career is over at the University of Utah. We love Cam. I love Cam. Everybody loves Cam, but Cam is done at the University of Utah. We banked 2 seasons on that, and it's blown up in our face. We need to move on. And he does too. Hope he stays on the coaching staff at Utah. He'd be a phenomenal coach. I'd love to see him as head coach one day. We love Cam Rising. We want you, Cam Rising. So the trick here is to fund up NIL funds, get transfer players in, develop the players you got right now, get to a position where you're back into the top 25 and winning games again, and come on and start competing in the Big 12 conference and don't lose 7 freaking straight games. It's really unacceptable. This is a program that's too dang proud to accept this kind of crap. So that's it. That is it. That's basically the summation of this whole season. 4-7. If you were going to tell me that Utah would be 4-7 2 months ago, I would have bet $1 million that was not the case. Everybody would have. Utah was projected to win the Big 12 conference, and they've fallen flat on their face and blown it this year. They've sucked this year. It's all about results, and you're 4-7. You're not going to make a bowl game, which probably is a good thing again because you need to hit the portal evaluations now. I love the Utes. I'm going to renew season tickets. I'm going to be a booster. I'm going to support the Utes. I'm going to continue doing this podcast, talk about the Utes, but really you got to call out crap for when it's crap. And this is crap. And the quarterback performance has cost Utah dearly this season. You didn't have any backup behind Cam Rising, and it burned you, and you need to fix that crap going into next year. You need a couple quarterbacks that can actually win freaking football games and are going to cost you football games. You need leaders. You need people with swagger. You need to bring it back to physicality and quit getting pushed around like you did this year. It's been embarrassing as a Ute fan. So that's it. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm going to look for your comments. Look, and you can come after me, sure. If there's some shade at your team and stuff, like the Big 12's fine and everything. It ain't no SEC. It ain't no Big 10. Utah should be able to win the Big 12 conference any given year. Seriously, any given year. And even this year, if Cam Rising stays healthy, Utah should have won the dang conference. This is not a tough conference as far as competing like the top of the top here. It's totally winnable. It really is. So leave me a comment. Do you agree or disagree? I'm sure you probably disagree. Most of y'all do. But that's all good. I got to tell you exactly what's going on with Utah football, and watching this slop for the last several weeks and everything has been tough. It's going to be a tough offseason. I'm hoping for huge changes, a lot of changes, a lot of portal players, a lot of NIL funding. It's time to really flip this roster, develop the best talent, and win next year. So in the meantime, go Utes. Go Utes. Go Utes. Wild Ute